সব সময় শিশুর চোখের দিকে তাকিয়ে কথা বলুন ও আপনি কি করছেন তা ব্যাখ্যা করুন।
তুমি এতক্ষণ অনেক ভালো কাজ করছো, এখন আমরা গড়াবো। আসো দেখি তুমি পারো গড়াতে। লামিয়া,
আপনি শিশুর হাত ও পা একসাথে ধরে বলের মতো করে গুটিয়ে সামনের দিকে অথবা এক পাশ থেকে আরেক পাশে আস্তে আস্তে গড়াতে পারেন ও পুরো বিষয়টিকে মজার করে তুলতে পারেন।
লামিয়া, লামিয়া, এই যে আমরা এখন গড়াবো। আসো দেখি, হাতটা হাঁটুতে রাখো। এই যে বাবা, আব্বু, আব্বু, একটু একটু নরম করো, করো। চলো আমরা গড়াই গড়াই গড়াই। এদিকে এদিকে এদিকে, এদিকে 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 এদিকে। বুদ্ধু, তুমি করো আবার।
ও এক পাশে ঘুরতে সাহায্য করুন।
বাস করো, হাঁটু বাস করো, করো 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 করো। আসো 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 আসো, রোল রোল রোল। এ বাবা করো, ঘোরাও, খুব ভালো। এই তো বাবা 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 বাবা, সুন্দর।
শিশুকে এক পাশ হয়ে খেলতে দিন। দরকার হলে তার পেছনে একটা তোয়ালে গোল করে বা কোলবালিশ দিয়ে দিন যাতে সে এক পাশ হয়ে থাকতে পারে।
পিপ পিপ। বাবা, হাতের আঙ্গুল ধরো ধরো, সুন্দর ধরো, আঙ্গুলগুলো খুলো।
শিশুকে যাতে সে কি করছে তা সে দেখতে পায়। প্রথমে এক পাশে, তারপর পেটের উপর ঘুরতে শেখান। একটা তোয়ালের উপরে তাকে তার পিঠের উপরে শোয়ান। তারপর তোয়ালেটা আস্তে আস্তে তুলে ধরবেন যাতে শিশু নিজেই এক পাশে ঘুরতে বা কাত হতে পারে। এরপর অপেক্ষা করুন যাতে সে নিজেই নিজের পেটের উপরে ঘুরতে পারে। দরকার হলে তাকে আরো একটু সাহায্য করুন।
হাতটা একটু সামনে রাখি, হাতটা একটু সামনে দেই। খুব ভালো, এবারই হাত, সুন্দর। আর একটু সামনে রাখি হাত, দিকে 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 দিকে। ও বাবা, ও বাবা, একটু মাথা উঁচু করো। এই যে খেলনা লামিয়া, এই যে লামিয়া।
পিঠের উপরে শোয়া অবস্থায় তাকে আস্তে আস্তে পা ধরে এক পাশ থেকে আরেক পাশে ঘোরা। এটা ঘুরতে শেখার প্রাথমিক ধাপ। এটা আস্তে আস্তে করবেন যাতে শিশু নিজে কিছুটা চেষ্টা করতে পারে। শিশু কেমন বোধ করছে সেদিকে খেয়াল রাখবেন। ওর সাথে কথা বলুন, হাসান এবং মজা করুন। এক পাশে ঘুরতে উৎসাহিত করতে পারেন। এভাবে শিশুকে পিঠ থেকে পেটের উপরে আসতে উৎসাহিত করুন। দরকার হলে তার উপরের পাটা ধরে পাশ ফিরিয়ে পাশের খেলনাটি ধরতে সাহায্য করুন।
His name is Sebastian. He has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and we're working on head control and reaching. So when Sebastian lifts up his arm, it's hard for him to keep his head from not going back too. So it's all a pattern that goes together. So we're just working on reaching and not losing our head. So I have him sitting on a bench. I have his orthotics on because that helps break up his tone. I actually have a belt around my own belt. I wear a belt that has notches all the way around so that I can use it anytime I need it. So I've put it around his legs to help keep his legs in flexion as well. I've got a table height that's just the right height, because if it's too high and Sebastian has to reach up and let his head go back, I try to find something that was just a little bit higher than his hands normally rest, so that it would be easy for him to lift his head, lift his arm without his head going back. I wanted things that were easy to knock over. I'm going to start off with a ball. I've also got some paper towels to try. All right, Sebastian, what you've got to do is not let your head go back. Not yet. There you go. You got to reach with this arm. Oh, you lost it, but you almost kept it. Got it? That's right, you got to fix it. You have to fix it, Sebastian. Excellent. You can make that ball. Excellent, Sebastian. That is such good work, Sebastian. I saw. Let's try one of these. All right, Sebastian. Sebastian, you're going to have to bend up. Here we go. Excellent job. And that is exactly what I wanted to do. I did, because it got a little off to the side, I did rotate him a little bit, because it's harder when he has to reach across midline. Sebastian, that was perfect. Sebastian is 7 years old and he's got the best smile in the world, and we're working on sitting balance. So sitting is tricky for Sebastian because he wants to extend back. And so we're working on trying to hold it. This time we're sitting with his legs crisscrossed to try to break up the tone just a little bit. You can see he can still generate a fairly strong extensor tone pattern. So we're going to see what we can do. I've got a bench in front of him, and the trick is finding the right bench height. If it's too low, then his head goes down and he can't hold up his head and keep his balance. If it's just too high, it's too easy for it to elicit the extensor pattern. I see. So I'm going to turn him around toward the bench. And I'm going to put one arm up here on the bench. I'm going to put the other arm up here on the bench. You got your little pinkies. I've got a non-skid material up here on top just to help keep him from sliding. And we're going to count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Good trying, Sebastian. This is what we're actively working on in therapy, so this is certainly something he hasn't mastered. Try it one more time for everybody. Sometimes I have toys in the front. Sometimes the toys are too exciting. It just encourages him when he's excited about them to extend. So you ready? You gotta fix it. You gotta fix it. Thank you. You ready? Play with those fingies. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way to go, Sebastian.
We're going to take 2 bath towels. We're going to roll them together and make a nice little bolster out of them. And I'm going to place this under his chest so that we can get a nice stretch on the hip flexors. So what this does, it takes some of his body weight, shifts it back to his hips, and it's a good way to stretch out the muscles that are on the front part of the hip flexors. Even if he were just to lie here for 5, 10, 15 minutes, he would be getting a nice stretch of his hip flexors. What you don't want to do is lie in this position with his legs really widely abducted or out to the side. So you would want to get him in this position so that the stretch is really focused on his hips. And I'm going to show you another way to stretch his hip flexors. So bend your knee for me. Perfect. I'm going to hold just above the ankle joint. I'm going to put my hand right here, and then I'm just going to pull up. We wouldn't expect the leg to come off the ground any more than what it is right now. What I don't want to do is I don't want to stretch him with his leg out in this position. I want his knee to be in line with his hip, and then I'm going to lift up. And I would hold that for about 30 seconds, and that's good stretch on the hip flexors. So from sideline, I would support this top leg, so my arm is supporting the lower leg and I'm holding the knee. I'm going to come right here to support the pelvis, and then I'm just going to bring this back. And again, I don't want to bring it back so far that I get arching in the back. I just want to bring it to what the available range is at the front part of the hip, and hold for 30 seconds.